need. I tell you what, you never know what may happen, y'all. That's why we have to continue to keep our hands in God's unchanging. Because He is a good God. No matter what happens, He's still good. Now this morning, let us draw our attention to 1 Samuel chapter 16. 1 Samuel 16. Phyllis did a good job of reading verses 1 through 10 for us this morning. I was going to continue on out to verse 13 to see our thought here. And in verse 11 it says, "So he asked Jesse, 'Are these all the sons you have?' 'There is still the youngest,' Jesse answered, 'and he is tending the sheep.' Samuel said, 'Send for him. We will not sit down until he arrives.' So he sent, and he had him brought in. He was glowing with health and had a fine appearance and a handsome feature. And then the Lord said, 'Rise and anoint him. This is the one.' So Samuel took the horn of oil and anointed him in the presence of his brothers. And from that day on, the Spirit of the Lord came upon David in power. Samuel then went to Ramah." At this point in time, in the story of 1 Samuel, we've talked about this a little bit before. The previous chapter, we see that Saul, King Saul, the first king of Israel, has been rejected by God. He's been rejected because he has proven to be somebody that's not having God's best interest at heart. He has been a man proven to be a person that wants to do what he wants to do instead of listening to God. And God was not going to deal with that. He rejected him, and he tells Samuel to go find a new one. He said, the Lord said to Samuel, "How long will you mourn for Saul, since I rejected him as king over Israel?" In other words, Saul got his walking papers. He was fired from being king. And he tells old Samuel, he says, "Samuel, fill your horn with oil and be on your way. I am sending you to Jesse of Bethlehem. I have chosen one of his sons to be king." And that's an interesting thing there that he mentions old Jesse. And he said, "I have chosen Jesse's son to be king." And old Samuel, he did exactly what God had said to him. You know, he went there, he told them, "Hey, I'm coming to sacrifice." And that was a guy to keep Saul from being angered and keep Saul from wanting to kill everybody and kill Samuel especially. Because once he realized what God was really doing, you know how man can be, he'll try to keep God from doing what God wants to do. Well, when he got there, Samuel got there, he told me to come in peace, and he came to sacrifice. But the interesting thing about this is that Jesse had a total of 8 sons. A total of 8 of them. And the oldest 3, Eliab, Shammah, and Abinadab, those are the 3 that serve in the army for Israel, who fight under Saul. I'm not sure what the other brothers do, besides David, the other 4 that we don't hear anything